Hi guys, my name is Lily and today I want to work on my bow and arrow technique. Stay tuned. Okay, so first of all, I've shot recurve bows for over 13 years now, so I believe that I'm shooting fairly well, but I'm not perfect. And today I want to improve the things that I'm still making wrong, right? So first of all, what I'm doing wrong is basically I'm death gripping the bow. I'm holding it far too firmly, and that's not good because under tension you will shake and then you might miss your target. So today I will try to let my fingers very loose and just close my palm very lightly so that I'm not death gripping the bow. The next thing that I would like to improve today is actually my release. The release is one of the most important things when it comes to recurve shooting. And basically what I'm doing is, I know that I'm doing it, but I'm not paying attention a lot of the time. So what I'm doing is I'm releasing the bowstring to the side and then I come back to the shoulder. But that's pretty bad because then you give the arrow a side kick and then it will fly differently. So it would be much better if I release the bow like this, that I just pull through underneath my chin and go right back on my shoulder. And that's the second improvement that I want to make today. Now before I start shooting, I first want to clarify my very unique draw and how I developed this draw and why. So a lot of people criticize me because I'm drawing my bow from above, right? So I draw like this. Now the problem is, if you're out harvesting some deer, you might give away your position if you're, on the hunt, and then the game might spot you and then it might run off. And that's actually true. So with this movement here, you will be very visible out there. So if you're really out on a hunt, it's better to draw the bow like this. However, I have to say, if I draw the bow like this, there's a lot of pressure on my shoulder, right? And unfortunately, I had a shoulder operation. I injured my shoulder when I was a student, and back then I was climbing a lot and I was young and thought that nothing could hurt me, so I overdid it, and then I got an impingement syndrome. It hurt a lot, and then I got an operation and I couldn't shoot the bow for months and years, and it took like 3 years to heal again. And in that time I found out that if I draw the bow from above, that now my shoulder blade is already in the right position, and the only thing that I have to do is to pull down with my elbow. So if you draw like this, you will have much less pressure on the shoulder, and that's what I need for my broken shoulder. So that's the reason why I draw from above. Of course, you shouldn't draw like this, because then you might risk that you shoot off the arrow very far if you accidentally release it. So it's better if you draw the bow horizontally like this. And even if you release the arrow by accident, then it won't go far. Now let's shoot some arrows. I haven't practiced with this bow for a long time, so I first had to sight in on the bow again. And I also don't have a knock point on it yet. I have to get one. That's not too shabby. I really try to focus not to grip the bow. Yeah, that's a pretty good grouping. As you can see, it's very tight, and yeah, I think now I'm just going farther away because the distance now was pretty short. I think it was only 7 meters. Okay, before I continue, I want to show you the bow that I'm shooting today. This is the Phantom by MandarinDuck, and when I got it, it was about $80 US, so pretty cheap, but actually the quality was pretty good. And when it came, it was not perfect, so I had to make some improvements. First of all, it was pretty loud because it had an empty chamber underneath the limb here. And then I took some cotton and put it into it, and this cloth here, which reduced the play that the limb had. And now this is very silent, because before that this part here was vibrating a lot and making a lot of sound, and the bow was very loud. Secondly, I put on some beaver puffs for vibration reduction of the bowstring. And then, if you have seen the video how to silence a recurve bow, then you might have also seen that I was knocking the arrow pretty high. And that was because the shelf was too high. So now what I have done is actually I have taken a file and sanded down the shelf a little bit, and now the bow shoots much deeper, and now I can knock the arrow here, which is a normal position. Okay. The next thing that I did was, as you can see, I have glued on this piece of leather here because the bow was shooting to the right, quite far to the right. So I was handing over the bow to someone else, and that person shot to the right as well. So if two persons shoot to the right with the same bow, then probably the bow is not inside. And with these small modifications, it was taking me like 1 hour to make these modifications. And yes, also I have glued on some Velcro here to reduce the noise even more. And now the bow is shooting very silently, and from the handling and from the feeling, it shoots like a $300 US bow. A little bit high. The grouping doesn't look too bad, but actually I know that I can do much better at this distance. I know I can. So I want to stay at the same distance, which is about 12 meters now, and practice a little bit more. Sometimes I'm shooting high, sometimes slower, but at least I'm in one line, so I'm not shooting left or right, but in one line. And that is what's happening when you're changing your release, because you have to get used to it, and sometimes you fall back to the old pattern, and yeah, it takes a lot of time to change your technique. That's much better. Okay, that's not too bad. So this is my result. Last time I shot much better, and now I was concentrating more on the release. And as you can see, I was still shooting in one line, which is a good thing, but my fingers need to find the right technique, how I want to release the bowstring. And this was too less pressure, this was too much of plugging, and these ones here, they were just right. Yeah, it's much better if I stay here, you know. I always plugged away the bowstring like this, and now if I just go along my face, it's much better. a little bit high. Yeah guys, so this was a video about how I have improved my technique, and of course it won't happen in one day that you shoot better, so much better, and that you can change your old technique, which you have used for 13 years, to a new one in just one day of practicing. So you really have to practice a lot and a lot to change from your old technique to the new one. And sometimes it will happen that you will fall back into your old pattern and that you use the old technique again, but that only goes away with a lot of practice. Yeah, so this is it. I want to thank you for watching. If you are interested in this product here, make sure that you check out the link in the description. It's an Amazon affiliate link, and it doesn't cost you more if you use this link. It's just that I get a small commission, and this supports my channel. So thank you again for watching, and stay tuned till next time.